Hello, everybody. My name's Robin O'Neill. You're listening to me reading stuff. This is Thursday, February 23rd. I gave you guys an after dark. I don't know if anybody heard it. I don't know if anybody gives a shit, but I did it anyway, and I'm back again today. Did I sound extra amped up last night? I feel exhausted. I'm getting to this one late. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just kind of am, I feel like I'm in a lazy mood, and I can't afford to be in a lazy mood. So I tried to remedy that by getting on an outfit instead of just wearing, my regular shitty clothes. So I really kind of dressed up just to come to my studio, which is in my apartment. And something about the outfit I picked reminded me of one of my old jobs. And it kind of felt good, it put me in a very kind of professional mode today. So that solved it. I felt lazy, put on a different outfit, and I got going. I love hearing about people's jobs, by the way. If you guys want to hit me up on Instagram or Twitter with your jobs, I'm always listening. It's ROBYN_ONEIL if you want to. You want to hear my jobs? I'll tell you. Very early, I started pet sitting first. I always was an animal lover, specifically mammals. So I was the local pet sitter, both in Omaha and in Grapevine, Texas, where I went to junior high and high school. Pet sitting was something I did up until all through college. So that was a consistent job. Babysitting, there's some crazy person yelling out. They just yelled out. Weirdly enough, they go, oh no, I don't even want to know. Geez, sorry, I had to hit pause. It's something about Son of God and pine cones. I should go down for this, actually. This sounds like quite a show. What was I saying? Okay, and then I babysat. I think my mom let me start babysitting when I was 12. Then when I was 15, the first freestanding Chick-fil-A opened up. What you may not know, hey, I know Chick-fil-A has its issues now, but let me tell you, back in the day, we didn't know any better. Chick-fil-A was always in the mall. It was a very special mall treat. And they didn't have any restaurants that were freestanding until the one opened up in Grapevine, Texas. So I opened that store. We started working about a month before training. We were doing training videos and learning all about whatever. The little chicken nuggets, the brownies, the ice dream. They call their ice cream ice dream. Anyway, that was my job when I was 15 because they allowed you to work in the drive-thru and the front counter. I remember I had to answer the drive-thru thing. I had to say, "It's a wonderful day at Chick-fil-A. How may I help you?" And I got to be honest, I loved that job. Although then I got quickly lured away a couple months in because the craft store that I loved, that's craft, FT at the end, not crap store, Moskatels is what it was called. It was kind of like a Michael's craft store. They had a position open up. And since I was an artist and an art student, I really wanted to work there because I thought I could get a discount for paints and stuff. So I worked there and I hated it with a passion. I could go on and on, but let's move on. Then I quit that job and I worked for the rest of my high school life at Movies and Videos. The redundant title, Movies and Videos. It was a movie rental store, so it was like a knockoff Blockbuster, and it was by far one of the greatest jobs I've ever had. I loved every minute of it. A million stories from that place. Let's see. Then I went on. I also did some Christmas packaging, kind of like wrapping paper at the mall during holidays. Then I got to college. I worked in the archives of the library at my university. I then worked at Delta Airlines, and I hated it. That's my least favorite job. I wanted to die working for Delta. I was supposed to be somebody who took little kids from terminal to terminal and elderly people who needed help. But they quickly caught on that I had a brain that could grasp computers, and so they had me totally against FAA regulations, working the, ticket counter. And I got yelled at 24 hours a day, and I hated everything about it. Then I went back to school. That was one summer. Then I went back to college and I worked at the University Art Gallery, which was fine, but not my favorite job. I never liked working in art environments for whatever reason. I like things separate from art when it comes to jobs, which is why I don't teach or do anything like that. Then I worked in the periodicals and the microfiche section of the library for the rest of my time at school. And then fast forward, I had no job when I was in Chicago because they gave me like a stipend and I had a good deal with them, so I didn't have to work. That's when I started drawing a lot. And then I came back to Texas and I worked at Starbucks. And then I did pet portraiture, and then I worked at a real estate firm. And we are 5.5 minutes in. Anyway, I worked at a real estate firm, loved it. I was the office manager. Hello, that was my favorite. That was one of my favorite. I said favorite about 1 million times. Anyway, what were some of your favorite jobs and what were your least favorite? It's fun to hear about both. Normally, I tend to go negative. I want to hear the bad ones, but I think it's fun to hear about both. One time I made out with a guy in the bathroom of Movies and Videos. That was a good time. There was another time that I loved this little kid. He came in and he rented Jaws every single Sunday morning with his grandmother. I don't know why they didn't just buy the thing, but it was like a ritual that they had and I loved it. Hey, I haven't even read you anything. What do you guys want to hear? How about something... You know what? We're going to read Eileen Myles, somebody who needs pretty much no introduction. I feel like Eileen Myles is one of the few poets who everybody knows. If not, I'll put a link in the description of this podcast where you can learn all about her and also where I'm reading from. I mean, you can buy this book. It is a HarperCollins book, I Must Be Living Twice, published in 2015. And I'm going to be reading San Diego poem simply because it does mention a job. Okay, here it is, San Diego poem. The jacarandas turn on like lights. City Heights is in fact beautiful, guided by voices. Disturbs me, however, I will get to the 15, going north to Adams, to return disc 2 of Brazil. I hated it when it came out. The same thing I always hate, dirty like Keenholz's, like dirty technology. The Midwest, which is like London, somehow greasy. Who gets British humor? I can't. I think of my dad who purportedly liked sex so much. In fact, sex in this town. Did he ever know his little kid would teach college here? Pull over under purple trees to think about him. And the urge. Eileen Myles, everybody. There's something for everybody in this book, by the way. And that one was originally from her book, Sorry Tree, from 2007. Please buy that or check it out at your library. I'm trying to think, like, what thing always makes me think of my dad. The reason I'm so comforted talking about food and hearing about other people's foods that they love is because that's what my dad loves to talk about. We talk about it all the time. So anytime, that's why when I'm even sick, even if I'm sick with a stomach thing, I want people to just email me recipes or tell me what recipes they grew up with. It makes me so happy. Maybe it's because I'm from the Midwest. Midwesterners are criticized for that. You sit around a table with them and all they talk about is the food. Well, that's really not the worst thing you could talk about at the dinner table. It's just not. As always, thank you guys so much for listening. I'm running out of time. If you hate me, I'm sorry. If you're tolerant of me, I appreciate your accepting ways. I love you guys. Remember,
are you listening?
I'm pretty sure I've said this quote to you before. I think about it daily. Flaubert said it best. Be regular and orderly in your life so that you may be violent and original in your work. What does that mean? That means get up, put on your uniform, go to Chick-fil-A, wear it well, wear what you dig. Now, take your clothes back off because I forgot to tell you to take a shower first. Take a shower, be clean, don't be gross. Now put your clothes back on. Take a deep breath. I hope you're wearing stretchy pants because you need to stretch it out. Stretch it out. Breathe, stretch, believe, love, don't murder, don't lie. Organize your desk. Eat an apple, drink water, drink coffee. Good night, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.